Hi, good morning, everyone. Hi, good morning, everyone. Can anyone hear me? Good morning, and welcome to today's session. If you can hear me, can you say hello? If you can hear me, please let me know. Good morning, everyone. Today we are having a webinar about virtual assistant tips, where we'll be sharing tips on how to be a successful virtual assistant. And Rachel, good morning. And what clients are expecting from us. I actually made a decision yesterday that I'll come live today to explain in details what our role as a virtual assistant is, what client is expecting from us, and how we can avoid losing our jobs as a virtual assistant. Because I realized that one of the things, yeah, thank you so much for liking. Please, if you are here for us today, the only thing I need from you is to just power tap and share with your friends, so that they all can come and learn together, so that you all can learn together, and also to avoid someone losing their job out there. So good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Please, let's power tap and let's share this with our loved ones. So this session promised to be educative, interactive, and it's going to be one of the best webinar you've ever attended as a virtual assistant. And also, please do not mind my voice. I've been under the weather for the past few days now, so I'm just trying to pull myself together. So, as a virtual assistant, if you are a virtual assistant, trust me, this webinar is for you. This is one of the best places you want to be today, because I'm bringing myself out here this morning to help others, to avoid others losing their job as a virtual assistant. Because I realized that most of us, we just believe that it's just all about getting skills, getting trained as a virtual assistant. Most of us don't really understand what it takes to keep that job. And that's why I always tell you guys that, you see, searching for remote jobs, trying to land the first gig is not the, I know it is stressful, but that is not the main work. The main work is trying to keep that job, trying to keep that career as a virtual assistant. And that's why majority are losing their jobs, especially newbies, because they don't know, they don't understand. Freshman, thank you so much. They don't understand what it takes. Everybody just believes that everybody is working remotely, we are earning in dollars per hour. But what does it take to keep that job? What are clients expecting from us? So when I was on vacation, like I said yesterday in my video, two people reached out. I have hundreds of inbox. I can't, like, I, oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Can anyone hear me? Can anyone hear me? Can anyone hear me? If you can hear me, can you please type yes in the comment section? Okay, thank you so very much. So when I was off on vacation, I received so many messages, and I only respond to only those that I know they are very, very urgent, like they want to enroll for the virtual assistance class, because those are my ideal, target. And for those that I know that, oh, they're actually in their need of my assistance, I'll just respond to them. Other messages, I do take my time, to respond to them, because they are not urgent. It's just like the normal messages I receive every day. So if I'm here to respond to your message, trust me, I will do that. Probably tomorrow when I have the time, because I'll be off tomorrow for the new year, and yes, one and second. So that's not why we are here, anyways. So I read both their messages. They both lost their job as a virtual assistant, and they are newbies. The painful aspect was the one that started 3 days ago, and the client already ended our contract. And the second one, she already worked with the client for a month, and the client didn't like what's it called, our services, and they ended our contract. Now they're all in my DMs trying to tell me what happened and how I can talk to their clients. And I told them they are not my friend. I don't know them. If I know them, they will even be lead to in which I into this affair. So that's why I said let's just come together today. Let's learn what it really takes to be a virtual assistant. So guys, I will employ each and every one of us to please listen and listen well. Even if you're already working as a virtual assistant, you will need this information. And if you are here for me, you guys know what we always do. Please let's power tap and share with our loved ones so that they can avoid losing their jobs with all these silly mistakes. So while I'm waiting for you to power tap, I'll also be opening my notes because I actually made several notes yesterday so that we can touch the key parts and we won't forget, like we won't leave any stone untouched. So let me just open my notes. So guys, just let's keep our tapping and let's share. Let's take this to FYP. Let people know that I'm back, but today with a very powerful webinar. I'm trying to open my notes here on my laptop. Okay, now I'm here. I'm just going to be taking them one after the other. So as a virtual assistant, especially for those of you that you believe that um being an executive assistant is just all about, okay, let me put it this way. I'll start from being an executive assistant and what is expected and the common mistakes that one of those persons make and how we can avoid it as well. So, I always tell you guys as a virtual assistant is like an umbrella. Then under the umbrella, you find your own niche. So, being a virtual assistant, this person is actually an executive assistant. And as an executive assistant, you actually help your client in his or her day-to-day activities in the business line, executive assistant. But with his personal assistant, you actually help them in their personal life. But at times, being an executive assistant, you work as an executive assistant, you also work as a personal assistant. I don't know if I'm making sense. So which means when you're helping your clients in their business life, you also help them in their personal life. So what are they expecting from me as an executive assistant? Generally, they expect you to help them with managing their calendar. They expect you to make internet research for them. They expect you to purchase gifts for them. They want you to manage their emails. They want you to plan their travels. They want you to help in hiring. They want your help in ensuring staffs are well coordinated. They want you to attend meeting on their behalf. They want you to take minutes of the meeting. Majority of us, we can't see you. Can you see me? Can anyone see me? Rachel is saying she can't see me. Can anyone see me? Maybe it's your network or is it my network, guys? Okay, Kamso said, okay, fresh G. Okay, okay. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so very much. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Don't mind me, I will not shout today. If you touch my voice like this, I'm hot. So, as an executive assistant, you help them with all these things, taking minutes of the meeting, attending meeting on their behalf. And that's what I always tell you, as an executive assistant, especially as a girl or as a guy, whatever, you need to look presentable because you don't want to attend a meeting on behalf of your client and you look shabby. That's why, oh my God, they took the lights. Oh, Nigeria has happened to me. One moment, guys. Oh, thank God I didn't connect my internet to this thing. Could have ended the live session. Yeah. So that's why, as an executive assistant, it is very, very important that you look presentable, you have great communication skills, you have great writing skills. That's why whenever you want to enroll for the virtual assistant class, I always tell you it's very, very important that you have basic computer knowledge, you have communication and writing skills. These things are very, very important, especially as an executive assistant. So all these things are the responsibility of an executive assistant. I hope I'm coding because most of us we just want to be an executive assistant, but we don't know what our role is as an executive assistant. So I'm going to recap again so that for those of you that are just joining, as an executive assistant, you will help with managing emails, you will help with internet research, you will help with purchasing of gifts, you will help with coordinating staffs, you will help with hiring, you will help with taking minutes of the meeting, you will help with attending meeting on behalf of your clients. You have, in fact, some personal things. You have to manage their emails as well. You also help in some personal life because at times I help my boss to purchase gifts, send to our family, plan travels. It's very, very important as an executive assistant, whether you like it or not. Your clients will have reasons to travel and they will need you to plan their trips for them because as an executive assistant, they trust you like you are their right hand, and you are the middleman between your clients and the other staff, or your clients and his or her vendors or our customers, name it. So if you want to be an executive assistant, it's not going to be a walk in the park. It's going to be you being proactive, you standing your feet. In fact, I call some executive assistants and HR like they are very, very strong at times. Like if you are not very careful, an executive assistant might kick you out of your job. So before you say, "Oh, I want to become an executive assistant," ask yourself, "Do I have the charisma? Do I have what it takes to be an executive assistant?" Now, that is that about the role of an executive assistant. Now, let's talk about the mistakes that this person made. And the first thing has to do with calendar management. See, today, like there is no gatekeeping because I don't want any of my followers to come back to me and tell me they lose their job. I don't want to hear it again. I don't want to hear it again. You see, calendar management. Everybody believes that calendar management is one of the easiest thing. Maybe it's just to do calendar management. It's just to add meetings to the calendar. If my boss asks me to do this, I'll just add it to the calendar. As an executive assistant, you need to be proactive. And one of the mistakes this person makes as an executive assistant with calendar management is the fact that I want you guys to know as an executive assistant, if you're managing your boss calendar, your boss will give you access to use our calendar. They will share their calendar with you. If you're managing their email, they will share their email with you. So you have access. That was the first question I asked the girl. She said she have access to her boss email. She have access to her calendar. Because when you have access to someone's email, definitely you have access to the person's calendar. So that's just one of the things. So what happened was that the client actually asked her that, okay, can you make a reservation for me at this particular place? Reservations. I don't know if it is restaurant reservation or whatever. So she made that reservation, she added it to the calendar. And at that particular time, the client also have a meeting with an high value client, according to what she told me. And she said that, but it was my boss that told me to book reservation for her at this time. And I was telling her, see, being an executive assistant, it is not every time that your boss will tell you go, that you will just go. You need to check, like, okay, am I sure I really have to do this? Why? Because the moment your boss asks you, like, hey, you know what, can you make a reservation for me 7 p.m., let's say 7 p.m. Eastern time or 7 p.m. United Kingdom time, whatever. Since you have access to your boss calendar, if you do not have access to your boss calendar, it's another thing. Oh. Since you have access to your boss calendar, the first thing you want to check is to check if truly your boss is available at that time. If truly your boss is available at that time and you will see it on his or her calendar, you need to check. The moment you check and you realize that she said I should book a restaurant reservation for you at 7 p.m. You have another meeting at 7 p.m. Your boss will not tell you to check it though. In fact, they must have forgot. Most of them won't even remember. My boss do this for me every day. Like I said, I want to schedule a meeting with me and with this guy around 1 to 2 p.m. I'll be able to say, hey, Manila, you're not available at this time. She will not be able to say, oh, you know what, you can shift that one and just put that one there. But at least she's aware that, oh, I want to move something around. So this girl just go ahead and book the reservation and added this to the calendar. So the client didn't know until that day that there's a clash. And there are some restaurants that if you want to book, they will ask you to make payment. And if you cancel less than 24 hours or something, you will forfeit 50% of your money. So the client is angry that this person didn't inform her. And the girl is standing her ground like it was the client that said she should book it. Like, you get, like, that's why I said, even if your boss said go, you need to be sure. Okay, go and book this reservation for me. Check her calendar. Because when she told me, I said, your client is angry because there's a clash on her calendar, right? She said yes. I said, do you have access? So, look, well, thank you so much, Mama. I appreciate. Like, do you have access to your boss calendar? She said yes. And I said, did you check her calendar before you book that reservation? She said no. I said, that is the problem. Because as a client, they expect that as an executive assistant, you will be proactive. You will make decision on their behalf. You will call their brain home. They are very busy, especially if you are dealing with a busy executive. They want you to think for them. They don't want you to be a burden. So, situation like that, what the girl should have done is telling her client, like, okay, I can make this reservation for you at this particular point in time, but I want you to know that you have another meeting. Do you want me to make this reservation at a later time, or I should keep it like that? Maybe your boss have abracadabra that he or she wants to do, but you communicate. But number one, this freelancer didn't even check her boss calendar, and the client self didn't check. So it was at the very last minute. So the client lost an amount of money basically because the virtual assistant didn't check, and she also didn't check. So as an executive assistant, what I'm trying to tell you guys this morning is that your clients, they will be the reason for your failure, but you will be the one that stood your ground. Like, you see this job, we gather there and die here together. So if anybody asks you to make any reservation for them, if you have their calendar, check their calendar first. Is this person truly ready? Is this person truly available at this particular point in time? Then if not, communicate. I say that there's this meeting and there's this and you want me to do this. Are you sure this is okay, or do you want me to move it at a later end? You are actually available or free from this time to this time. Do you want me to make this reservation then, or do you want to move things around? That is what is called being proactive as an executive assistant. Guys, am I communicating? You see, we are talking about calendar management, oh. Calendar management. Everybody just think it's just to just go to Google Calendar or go to your Outlook or whatever and add that meeting. It goes a long way. Now, let's talk about another thing. Calendar management. That's why I said, if you are not in this virtual assistant field, if you have not worked for years, there are some experience you will never have until you work in that lane. And that's why I always bring myself out here to ensure that you people truly understand what it takes. And I'm glad I'm having this session today. Now, back to calendar management. Imagine that your boss book, let's say, a doctor's appointment for 2 p.m. For 2 p.m. Yes, let me put it that way. That was one of the terrible mistakes I made too back then. You won't know if you don't make that mistake. You won't know. So nobody is nobody will crucify you for that. Everybody will make mistakes in this life. So let me share it with you. Doctor's appointment is at 2 p.m. And I already made the appointment. I called the hospital. I emailed. They gave me I was able to book the reservations or whatever. The appointment. I added it to my boss calendar for 2 p.m. I think the appointment was 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. thereabouts. So I added the calendar from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. So my boss told me that, okay, so this my calendar will notify me 10 minutes or 30 minutes prior that I have an appointment, a doctor's appointment. For the fact that, let me tell you something. I want to break it down so that people will understand. Let's assume that looking at this calendar now, my boss have a meeting from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. or 1 p.m. to 1:45 p.m. and I want to book doctor's appointments. And I booked the doctor's appointment for 2 p.m. Can anyone tell me what I'm missing there? Do we have anyone that can help me? My boss is having a meeting from 1 p.m. to 1:45 p.m. and there's a doctor's appointment at 2 p.m. I don't know if you guys are thinking the way I'm thinking right now. Yeah, apart from rest time, you are very close, Josh Poppy. We just need to pause, think, ask myself. Exactly, Bisola Demola, exactly. You didn't give enough time for her to get to the other appointment. This is just it. Your boss will not know all these things. Oh. You don't want to say, oh, and that's another thing, Mercy. You don't know how long the meeting will exactly. Transportation, Uzo, you are right. You are right. It is not to you to be like, okay, what is the distance from my boss house to the hospital? You need to understand the distance. Google Map. As a virtual assistant, do you know how to use Google Map? Do you know how it works? That's another question. You need to understand. Yeah, it might still cost, I get, but you need to understand that, okay, what is the distance? If the distance is just 10 minutes drive or even 5 minutes walk, sometimes it's just walk. So what I always do is that whenever I have an appointment that I need to, yeah, whenever there's an appointment like that, I'll let her know that you have a meeting from 1 p.m. to 1:45 p.m. And for you to get to the hospital, it will take you around 20 minutes, which means you will be late for the doctor's appointment. I think it is okay for me to book your appointment from 2:30 so that at least from 1 to 1:45, you can even have overtime, maybe have the meeting to 2 p.m., then you get dressed to the doctor's appointment. Which means you need to calculate, you need to give a room, like a gap from the house to the hospital and from the hospital back home. If you're supposed to have a doctor's appointment from 2 to 3 p.m., you dare not put another meeting for 3 p.m. because your boss will need to go home. He or she needs to rest. Unless your boss said, you know what, don't worry, I can actually have that meeting when I'm, on my way. But your boss should be the one to tell you, not you guessing. Calendar management. You see this calendar management? That is our executive life. They live their life based on this thing. So if you get it wrong as an executive assistant, it's one of the simplest tasks that I can ever do as an executive assistant. But if you do not understand how it works, you might have issues. Now, checking distance is very important. And there's some situation whereby your boss will have to move things around. Maybe your boss wake up today now, she's not feeling fine, and she told you like, hey Kisara, I'm not feeling too well today. I have several meetings that I need to take. You want to ask her, yeah, I can actually move your meetings around, but is there anyone that I can attend on your behalf? There are so many meetings you attend on your boss behalf, yes. But before your boss will be rest assured like, yes, this person can handle meetings on my behalf, trust me, you must really have great communication skills and you must be presentable. Because most of us, because we work remotely, anytime I'm having a meeting with my boss or anybody, at times when I'm home, I only wear my nighties. In fact, I'll just wear one crazy cloth like that and be moving around up and down in the house. But whenever I have a meeting, I'll just carry my wig, put my lip gloss, put my clothes. I need to be presentable. It goes a long way, guys. So you ask your boss, do you want me to attend this meeting on your behalf or do you want me to move it around? I realize that that's crazy. So when you move it around, you don't just move meetings around like that. Like, if my boss said I should move it around, you now move it around. Can anyone tell me what I need to do the moment my boss asks me to move things around? There are two things that I need to check. Two things that I need to do. If my boss asks me, like, move this meeting no to tomorrow, there are two things that I should do. Who wants to tell me? Two things. This is a class, and I'm enjoying it. And if you're enjoying it, Bisola said, check for availability, okay? Check the calendar, yes. You ensure that it is not clashing, yes. There's one more. You guys, you get that one. Exactly. Ayuk's lifestyle said communication with the other person. I need to communicate with the person. Exactly. Oh my god, you people are just the best. Let me just clap for you. You people are giving me this morale this morning. Communication. Because you see these people, they will tell you, they'll say, are you even thinking at all? My boss will say, Kasaya, I want you to pause and think. What do you think you need to do? She won't tell me. She'll tell you, Kasaya, I need you to pause and think. You're my executive assistant. I want you to think for me. Your brain needs to work. So the moment I want to change things, I want to communicate with the other person. Like, hey, hello. Yeah, I know you're having a meeting with this person, but this person is not feeling fine. Are you available at this point, at this particular point in time? Like, okay, sorry. The first thing I want to check if my boss is truly available. For the day he said I should, um, move the meetings to. Then, if he's available, or if she's available, then I want to communicate with the other party. Like, we want to reschedule this meeting due to the fact that my boss is not feeling fine, whatever, whatever. Yeah. And if the client now says, "Oh, yes, so I'm available, I get it," then you can now make the changes and invite both parties for the meeting. Am I communicating, guys? Now, calendar management. Calendar management. You are not done with calendar management. Calendar management. Whatever your boss is, let's assume this is a new. My students, I don't want any of you to talk because I know people. Your mouth not dey stay one place. I know over sabi they worry all of them. I will not. If I hear anybody talk, I will not even answer you because I know you people. Now, guys, your boss is having an appointment. Let's say at a spa for the first time, like it's our first time going to that spa, and you've added the appointment to a calendar. What are the basic things that you think you need to include in that calendar for her to have a smooth spa session? That's if it's a God's favorite. That is if the client has one. Not everybody. We want to help. Like it is like the first time the client is actually going for that like to that location. Joshi said details of the spa. Like, can you be explicit? Like, I want you to break it down for me. Google Map location, just copy. Reviews. You must have read the reviews before you even try to even book anything. Like you've booked it. Like you've booked it. I'm waiting for you guys. Let's think together. You know we are learning. I don't want. Yeah, someone said include numbers, time, date, location, if it's online or offline. For you to add something to the calendar, definitely you must have the time. You must have had the locations. Yes. Contact details of the spa. 3D Francisca, exactly. Things she needs to know about the spa, the timing, and other things that are necessary. No be small job. Fresh this said no be small job. So in a situation like this, I want you guys to think like this way. This is a new place that my boss is going to. I've made the reservation for her. You want to include all the information. You must have included the name, the location, the time. Another thing you want to do is add the website, the phone number in case your boss is running late. Your boss will be able to call the spot like, hey, I'm running late, just give me 5 minutes. Another thing, if there is any reservation code that your boss needs to, present when he or she gets there. So that's one. Then another thing is if there is like a document, let's say you receive it via your mail, you want to print it out and attach it to the calendar. Am I communicating? Direction from point A to B. Well, if you actually add it to the Google Calendar, it is very easy for your boss to just, put that on a map and drive there, or maybe just call an Uber or a taxi to take her there. So, but everything is still everything. You can add it if you want it. Just add a link to the Google Map so that it's very, very easy for your boss. I do that a lot, especially for my artists in the New York. Whenever they have like a class, maybe it's a new place, I want to have the Google Map. Like, okay, so when you click on this Google Map, it will just direct you to the place. So yeah, proof of payment for this exactly, Joshi. If you make a payment, you want to have proof of payment as well. You see, yeah, that doesn't even come to my mind, but you did. Thank you. Yeah. So that is calendar management. Too. You see how many minutes we use in talking about calendar management. Calendar management. Executive assistant people. You people think it's just that calendar. Abi? No. Anybody can do this, but you being proactive, you being able to think on your feet will actually keep you in that job. So that was the mistake she makes. Now, another thing, the mistake this person makes is that she's trying to merge her 9 to 5 jobs with her clients. And I always tell you guys, I'm not saying, I always tell you guys, yeah, they're trying. I always tell you guys, like, being a virtual assistant, you need to know what you want. And you can't eat your cake and have it. This person actually merged his or her 9 to 5 jobs with people should leave me. Now. I don't want to be distracted. People should not distract me. I'm serious today. I'm serious. So merging 9 to 5 jobs. See, being a virtual assistant, you need to ask yourself, the moment I land my first client, do I want to keep my 9 to 5 job? And if you want to keep your 9 to 5 jobs, there is a way you go around it. There are some certain jobs you should not apply to. Yes. If you want to merge your 9 to 5 jobs, especially in Nigeria, then you should be looking for jobs in Australia, in Asia countries, all those ones. That's the type of job you should be looking for. You should not be looking for job in UK country, Canada, or United States. Yes, if you want to combine your 9 to 5 jobs as a remote worker, especially as a full-time person. So what really happens is that whenever this person is in the office, a client used to message her to do 1 or 2 things for her, but she's not always available because she's busy with her 9 to 5 jobs and she always delay. Even if you know you want to do this, at least you should communicate with your client. Everything still boils down to communication. Communicate with your clients. Hey, I'm into 9 to 5 jobs. If they even know, they won't even hire you because majority they just want you to have time for them, especially if you're working full time. But if it is part time, you need to be clear. I'm only available from 12 p.m. Eastern time to whatever. You can't say you're available 8 a.m. Eastern time when you are not available. Understanding time zone goes a long way. You don't want to say you're available when you're not available because these clients they will need you for something urgent and they want you to be there. I don't know if I'm communicating. I want to break this down very well. Let's use Nigerians as an example. For someone like me now, I don't have any 9 to 5 jobs that I'm doing, but I will still not work morning Nigerian time because that is the time I have for my students and for this session that I always have. And I'm always available from 1 p.m. to 10 p.m., which means 1 p.m. to 10 p.m. because I will never um deprive myself of sleep. I love my sleep, like I love to sleep a lot. Yes, call me whatever you like. I know I'm available from 1 p.m. to 10 p.m. So any job that I'm looking for will be within Eastern time, Canada, United States, whatever. As long as you are within the Eastern time zone. Because right now their 8 a.m. is my 2 p.m. and their 4 p.m. is my own 10 p.m. Which means I work from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. Even if I want to give overtime, let's say there's a lot in the office, then I work to 11 p.m. But since the beginning of this year, I've never worked past 10 p.m. So you want to understand the time zone. So before you merge your 9 to 5 job, ask yourself, you'll be shooting yourself in the leg. And if you're not available for your client will end the contract and they will leave bad reviews for you that you are not available. What if your job is shift like morning, afternoon, and night? Join every young, then you want to look for a one-off job. Like the type of job that when a client give you that job, they will tell you that you can actually submit this job within 24 hours. We have some clients like that. That they will tell you that, you know what, when I give you this task, like they are not in a hurry for that, like to get that task done or whatever. Just ensure that you finish this task on or before. And those are graphic designer, website designer, all these people that they need to take their time to work. Or as a travel planner, because as a travel planner, all you need is just the information from your clients and you can just build the itinerary, make your research. Am I communicating, guys? So you want to be very, very careful about that one too. So you need to decide where wants to be a part-time remote worker or a full-time remote worker. If you want to do full-time, then your 9 to 5 job is bullshit. You want to quit that one. So basically, that was one of the mistakes the girl made as well. She's merging her 9 to 5 jobs together, and I told her, I said, babe, you can't have 2 full-time jobs together. It doesn't work. Even as a virtual assistant, I'm working remotely. I won't have 2 full-time jobs together, which means someone needs me 16 hours, like 8 hours for this one, 8 hours for out of 24 hours. I won't even have time for myself. I won't even have time to sleep. What kind of money am I looking for that I won't be able to sleep? I won't be able to rest. I only have one full-time job, 2 part-time job, one off job, and once in a while job thereabout. We want to understand this as well. That's why I said it's not just about getting trained as a virtual assistant. Do you know what it really takes to be a virtual assistant? Do you know what clients are expecting from you as a virtual assistant? So, guys, if you are truly enjoying this session, please let's put our tap and let's share this. We have amazing 72 viewers in the house, and we are still stuck at 10,000 likes, which is not fair to me, anyways. So, now let's talk about being proactive as an executive assistant or even as a virtual assistant. I actually note these examples for us. Let's use restaurants as an example. Yes, let's use restaurants as an example. Let's use a restaurant as an example. So that's to do with making reservations and Google Maps. Reservations and Google Maps. Now, your client asks you to book a restaurant reservation for her. Some people will just tell you that, hey Joshi, can you just thank you so much for that? Me, can you just make a reservation for me in Chicago or whatever? I want I want it to be very close to my house. Or I'm in this particular location, I need to eat. Can you just look for a nearby restaurant for me? Did you know that I've made one terrible mistake when I was starting out my career with my very first client? It's as if the client asked me to thank you so much for the gift, Uzo. It's like the client asking me, maybe the client is in Ibadan like this. Let's say challenge, for example, because I'm around challenge Ibadan. The client is in challenge and asked me to book restaurants for him. And I went to book restaurants along Ibadan, Lagos Expressway. That was the first mistake I made then with the client. Why? Because I don't understand Google Map. I don't understand how it works. I don't understand how to even locate my boss, like his or her location. If you laugh at me, Josh, you are laughing at me. I'm coming for you. So you want to understand the location. Okay, you want me to book a restaurant closer to your place. The first thing you want to do is to get your boss location. When you get his or her full address or whatever he or she is, then you can now use that, paste your Google Maps, search what is nearby and whatever. How do you pin location? Pin location, like, are you talking about Google Map or whatever? Because on Google Map, all you just need to do is just to copy the link and just give to your client. There's a way in which you can do that on your Google Map. So you want to be very, very careful. And when it comes to being proactive as well, let's assume your boss give you a particular restaurant, like, hey, I want you to book this restaurant for me, and it is fully booked. There are several ways in which you can go about it. Yes, it's fully booked online. You want to call the restaurant to ensure that are they truly fully booked? They might actually have a slot or whatever. You can ask them that can you join their wait list? And when you are joining their wait list, you want to check for another restaurant nearby. So that when you are going to your client, you are not going to your client and say, hey, the restaurant is fully booked. Hey, when it is not fully booked, what did you do? Hmm? What did you do? Because as an executive assistant, as a personal assistant, you need to be proactive. Yes, it is fully booked. What did you do? I've called the restaurant. Hey, guys, I tried to make reservation online, but you guys are fully booked. Do you have any slots available? Okay, you don't have any slot. Can I please be on your wait list? If anybody cancel last minute, then I'm going back to my boss and I'm telling her that, hey, Emily, you know what? I actually tried to make reservation with this restaurant, but they're fully booked. I called them, said they're fully booked. I asked them to put me on their wait list, but while we are waiting for them, I already booked another restaurant at this particular place. They have availability at 7 p.m. Do you want to check it out so that I can keep it? And whenever the wait list, maybe there's an open reservation or something, I can just cancel that one and bring this one and book that one. I'm not just going to my client and say, it is not working. Executive assistant, you need to freaking make it work. You need to make it work. That's why when my students are not doing my assignments in class, I get mad. Like, guys, if you don't do this, you won't know what to do when your client is giving you this task. Just as an executive assistant, just ask yourself, if I'm the person, what will I be expecting from this person? What do I want? How can this person serve me better? See, no, it's not in our dictionary as an executive assistant or personal assistant. We need to make it work. Let me share an example with you. When I was working with a luxury travel company in the United States, my role as a travel concierge was to search for what's it called, like a clothing vendor, like all these t-shirts, all these branding vendors in the country in which our clients are going. Then they'll brand the shirt and they'll take it to the hotel so that our tour guide will collect it from the hotel. So I made my research. I tried, like, I think it was Spain. The fact that nobody can speak English. Whenever I call them like this, hey, there's this particular word my boss gave me, pare Ingla or something, like saying that do they speak English? There's a particular word like that. None of them can speak English. Oh. Everybody where they find they cannot speak English. Do you know what I did? I went to Google Translator. I wrote everything down in English. And I had Google Translator to translate it for me in Spain or Spanish, whatever they speak. And I used that to send them emails. And they started responding to me. Now imagine me going back to my boss and say, no, when they said they cannot speak English, they said they cannot do this thing. What did I do? I tried to do what? To improvise. Google Translator. Yes, you speak Spanish, Abi. No, that's why most of you go to Upwork trying to say they need someone that can speak Spanish as a customer care. All of you will not apply to the job. Why? You don't know how to use Google Translator. Can't you use Google Translator? See, let's just leave that one. So being proactive goes a long way. Now let's talk about project management. Oh, sorry, I missed a particular part as well. So at some point when they started responding to me, most of them do not have what I want. Like I made a lot of research. Like for a whole week I was searching. And later my boss gave me these tips. It is not even from my brain. My boss said, because one thing about her, for the fact that that particular boss was a toxic client I've ever worked with, I learned a lot from her, even the hard way. Yes. That day she called me because we always have meeting every day. She said, you've been trying to do this on your own, it has not been working, right? I said yes. You've been communicating with me, I've not been able to help, right? I said yes. I said, who do you think can help you? You see this? I want you to pause and think. It's actually one of the slang I learned from her. She said, Kasara, I want you to pause and think. Who do you think can help you to solve this problem? And I paused. So as I paused, my head blank. Nothing. Nothing in my head. You just asked me to pause. I said, for my head, I said, I'm a pause, Palini. Nothing in this head when you tell me make I pause. Nothing in this head. She now said, you are going, we are going on a trip, right? Where are the clients staying? I said at the hotel. Pasara, call the hotel. Tell them to refer you to someone. I said, call the hotel. They should be able to help you. And I called the hotel. Hello, this is Kasara from this. Our clients are actually coming here to stay for 7 days. We want to. Germany cannot help you. ChatGPT cannot help you. ChatGPT will not help you to think. In situation like this, ChatGPT will not work. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. It won't. Then ChatGPT is not even, everywhere like this. Like everybody can just use it. No, 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 no. ChatGPT will not work. And I called the hotel. I told them, I said, hey, hello, this is me. We have people coming. I want to make a brand t-shirt for them, but I've tried to speak with several people. It is not working, but this is what I want. This is what I want. And the reception responded to me immediately, like, hey, I should try to connect with this person and tell the person that I'm from this hotel. And within 24 hours, I was able to solve that problem. The person was able to work on the t-shirt, and we got the t-shirt 2 days after the clients have landed to that place. Why? See, being proactive at times there'll be so many roadblocks. But I tried by making research. I tried by communicating in their language that they understand. And at some point it's not working. Now my boss had to step in. She stepped in because I've tried my best. See, this boss I even work with, they're not born where to go back and say no. She will tell you no what? You mean you've spent over 2 hours? You've billed me for 2 hours. You've billed me for 2 hours. I will pay you for that 2 hours, and you're coming back to tell me that it is not working. Who should pay for that wasted time? This is not Nigeria that whether you like it or not, your boss will pay you at the end of the month. As a virtual assistant, if you are not working, you are not earning. So I've made $20 making research and it is not working. So I should not be the one to go and do it, Abby. That's why remote workers, especially those of us that were in the administrative aspect, we just need to be proactive, because as you are working, someone is losing money and you are earning money. So you want the client to see value for that money. Am I communicating, guys? We are still under executive assistant. We are still under executive assistant. Guys, you guys stop our tapping. What is going on? Our viewers list is dropping. Can we take this to 30,000 likes? We can actually do this. Please. I'm not asking for gifts. I'm just asking for you guys to push me out there. That's the only thing. Exactly, Franca. Exactly. But majority of us just thinks that because we are virtual assistants, Chidi Franca, thank you so much. While I'm waiting for all of us to take the 30 to this thing to 30K likes, let me just explain this to Franca. Everybody just believe that my friend is working as a virtual assistant. I also want to work as a virtual assistant. And the only thing everyone is running after is just to get trained. So you have the skills, but do you have the knowledge? Do you have the right guidance? Do you have the right coaching to keep that job? Do you know what the clients are expecting? That's why most of you get so maybe you get hired and you see someone like you heading everywhere. Why? Because the person know what it takes to succeed in this field. So it doesn't matter if you're a graphic designer, if you're a website designer. See, if you have that one skills and you're very good at it and you're very proactive, trust me, you will also be leading in your own lane. But majority of us we want to be a graphic designer because my friend is a graphic designer. My friend is making bastard money. I also want to be a graphic designer. Do you know we have an executive assistant that are making bastard money even more than graphic designer? There's particular executive assistant in my company that I work for. She earned $35 per hour. So graphic designer are earning $20, $25. Most of them are earning more than that. It depends on your field. If you are very good at what you do, clients will pay for that knowledge. Please, can you talk about being an admin assistant and remote coordinator for a team of 10? We're actually going to get there. We are going to get there. Like, everything is just, interwoven in between. So, guys, please let's keep power tapping before I move on. I think majority two things a virtual assistant mean you'll be earning free money. You better go and sit down to 9 to 5 jobs. There is no free money anywhere. Oh. But because we always talk about you earn in dollars per hour, you earn in dollars per hour, people just want to earn that dollars. But to earn that dollars, you go work. And it will be sweet if you know what you are doing. Yesterday I worked 8 hours. Despite the fact that I got back to Nigeria on Saturdays, Sundays, yes. Then yesterday I worked 8 hours. I didn't even know that I worked 8 hours because I was enjoying what I was doing. I didn't have any issue. Everything was just like a walk in the park for me. So, but before you get to that stage, every organization, Franca, needs an admin. Every organization will need someone to help them in the administrative part. As small as my brand is, I have an admin. I have someone that is helping me. I can't do all these things by myself. So we have several companies. That's why I always tell people if you want to kickstart your career as a virtual assistant and maybe you're a graphic designer and it's not working for you, switch to admin first. Then after that, you can now do whatever you want to do. That's just one thing that people don't understand. So now, guys, we are almost there. We are almost there. We are almost at 30K likes. We are almost there. We are almost there. Don't mind them. It's not their fault. Most trainees don't even know. Most trainees don't even know. That's why I always tell people it is not by force to get trained, you know, to train from me, but ensure that whoever you want to train with or from, whatever, ensure the person truly have that experience. It goes a long way. You don't want to enroll for a virtual assistant class with someone that just finished their program. They don't have anything to offer you. They will offer you the skills if they are very good at it, but they won't offer you the experience. So that's just it. So it's not just about I want to enroll for virtual assistant class, whatever. So that's for you guys to. So now let's talk about project management. Let's talk about project management. The only thing that I know is that if you actually stick with me to the end, you're going to learn a lot today. Yeah, a lot today. So be my guest. Let's talk about project management. Yeah, yeah, I did. Ogo Beverly, yes. You can actually go to my profile and click the link in my bio. Yeah, or send me a DM to your home. But that is not why we're here today. Project management, guys. It is very easy for people to say, I know how to use Trello. I know how to use Asana. I know how to use Monday.com. I know how to use To Do East. I know how to use ClickUp. I know how to use name it. Project management tools. Name it. Fellow gang. Especially for those of you that you create portfolio and had all the project management tools that you know how to use. Let's just pick one today. Yeah, not sure. Not showing. It's more of a travel planner. Everything in one. Let's just pick one. Trello that everybody know. Trellos that everybody know. Trello. Asana. Monday.com. Most of you, do you even know how powerful those tools are? I will not like yabbing. No, nobody should yab anybody here. No, I don't like that laugh. That laugh they make. Oh gosh. But trust me, we are not laughing at it. We are, now. We just need to joke a little bit, be serious a little bit, so that people can understand. You people should be calming down now. We just pay for the class. Emma, calm down. If you paid, I receive your payment. I will attend to you at the end of the class. Emma, Binu. So, guys, project management tools. For those of you that don't know what this project management tool is that you know, unlike Nigeria, that is when you get to the office that your boss will tell you do this, or do that. But this project management tool is actually what your project manager will put all your tasks into, like all your tasks, put whatever you want to do in a day and whatever. So that whenever you clock in the morning, you just go to whatever project management tools that you are using. Now give us live discount. I will not give you. So when you log in, Rachel, now let me be serious. See everybody, Rachel is making noise. Oh, Rachel is the noise maker in this class today. Everybody want Rachel for me. Rachel, now please. Let me be serious. Rachel, let me be serious. Like my God, I don't want to laugh again. Now let's be serious. Now let's talk about project management tools. Abio, project management tools is actually what your project manager will put all your tasks in, like they'll input your tasks like, hey, do this, do that. They'll put all the description, they'll put due dates, they'll put everything. So that whenever you get to the office in the morning, when you open your laptop, you just go. I will not look at the comment section again, I'll just look in here. Mm. You just, open your laptop, go to your project management. So if you're using Trello, Asana, Monday.com, you just go there. What's going on? Ah, pressure to uh-huh. Yeah, sorry, teacher actually asked me to complete a puzzle. So the project management, when you get there, that is when you know the task that you have to do um for that day. And in every project management tools, we always have tasks according to their due date and according to their priorities. According to their priorities. So as a virtual assistant, whenever you see urgent, urgent, high, medium, low, there always be something like that. If you're using Monday.com, whatever, there's something be like urgent, high, medium, low. Whenever you have a task, let's assume you're working on a task, and you see that another task has been assigned to you and it is urgent, you need to pause whatever you are doing and work on the urgent task. Then when you are done, you move to high. Even if you are working on the medium and there's another task that is high, you go back to that task when you are done with the one you are doing. Most of us don't understand. And when we're talking about due dates, most of us believe that that due date is when we should do that task. Due date means you should work on the task on or before the due date. On or before the due date. See, project management tool will actually be a guide for you guys on what to do. I will actually talk a lot about this project management because most of us just believe that it's just to use Trello to do it. I'm abusing myself too because I don't know before. It's because I know that's what I'm telling you guys. So don't feel offended. Like they abuse you. We gather day together. You know me, if I make mistake, I'm very quick to say it. Ah, if you want to abuse me, abuse me. Abuse is my third name. So as a project management tools, when your project manager has added the task for you, ensure that you work according to their priorities, ensure that you work on or before the due date. And another thing, if you're an executive assistant, you might have reason to add tasks for your staff or for the company staff, whatever, or you know what I'm trying to say. And it is your duty to ensure that everyone is working on their task, especially if your company do not have a project manager. Not all companies have project managers. They don't have. But if your client give you a task, even if your client asks you, go and slap Rachel for me, go and add that task to your project management board. If your boss asks you, go and do this verbally or even through your communication channel, add it to your project management board. It is very, very important. Why? For two things. Two things that I can remember now. The first thing is that you might find yourself working 9 hours a day or 8 hours or whatever hours. And at the end of the day, your client might be like, hey, I saw you bill me for 5 hours. What have you been doing? And trust me, you've been doing something. But if you do not put them on your project management board, you won't remember everything. You've worked for 5 hours. The project management tools will be your guide to know that, yes, I've done this, I've done that. This is where I am at this point in time. So that whenever your boss wants to check what you've done, it's very easy for them to go there. Your project management board, whatever you are doing, ensure you are putting an update there. That whenever someone is opening the task, they know where you are on that particular task. Most of us would work halfway. Let's assume you are working on a particular task now and you cannot finish it. You need to finish it tomorrow. You don't just go home like that or log off. Put it in the task. This, I've done that. Pending this, that. So that whenever anyone view your task, they will know where you are. They will know how far you've gone with that task. If you're working on a Google Docs, put the link there. If you're working on a Google spreadsheet, put the link there. If you're working on anything, put the resources there. If you're working on a folder, put the link there. So that it's very easy for people to trace it back. Why? Number one, so that you can remember when they ask you what have you been doing. Number two, if you are not feeling fine, you cannot make it to the office. So be very easy for your colleagues to look at your board and see the one they can help you with. If you don't put the task there, they won't know. If you don't update your task, they won't know where you are. Someone might want to start from afresh, whereas like you've gone halfway through the task. Project management tools. Mm, project management tools. It's not just about I know how to use Trello. Are you using it the way you're supposed to be using it? And as an executive assistant, there's something your boss will not tell you, especially if you are to oversee the task of your colleague at work. Whenever you see that someone has passed their due date, before your client notice, please be the one to catch it and have a meeting with the person. What is going on? Why are you yet to finish this task? Your boss wants you to take off as much burden as possible off her or off him. You should be able to catch an error as fast as possible. That's what makes you someone that is being proactive, someone that is paying attention to details. So once you have a meeting with the staff, like, hey, what's going on? You have a lot of overdue tasks. What is going on? How can we help you? And as individuals, if you are using project management tool as well, if you realize that this task that your boss gives to you, the due date is not feasible, communicate onset like, hey, I'm not sure I can finish this task this day because of this, and this. Because at times, even me, I'll give people due date that is not feasible. But they'll come to me and say, hey, coordinator, This thing cannot work. Can you please push the due date back? Then I'll be like, okay, what date are you looking at? How many days will it take you to complete this task? Okay, I'll give it to you. My own is that just ensure you finish the task on or before the due date. Am I communicating? Can anyone hear me? Have I been speaking to myself? Mm, mm. Please, can we take this to 50,000 like? I want to know, are you having this training or you are just... I don't get the question. First, I'm having headache. Thank you so much, guys. Please, let's power tap. Chidi Francisca, can you hear me? I said I don't want to shout. Where can we source for VA jobs? We have several websites in which you can use. We have several sites in which you can use to source for virtual assistant job. But you need to be clear, what type of virtual assistant job are you looking for? See, I've talked about the executive assistant part, the one that made that mistakes. Now let's talk about the second person. You guys want me to talk about customer support? If you guys want to talk about customer support, no, you people should stop. Oh, you people are... Yes, I do, Chidi. You people should... Now, let's talk about the second person. Guys, I'll talk about this person and I'll talk about travel planning. We've been talking about executive assistant. Everybody don't they fight for comment section. You people calm down, calm down. Omo, ewa. It has to do with the way you filter your search on LinkedIn. Is very important. But there's another way in which you can get job now anyways. I'll make a video about it maybe today or tomorrow. Maybe New Year tips for all of us. So now, let's talk about the other one. I know that whenever you guys get trained as a virtual assistant, they are asking you to put yourself out there, let people see you, post what you do every day. But do you know that as a virtual assistant, being confidential, being confidential goes a long way. One of the terrible mistakes this girl made was posting her client's information here on TikTok. Yes, you want to show your followers or you want to show those that you are creating content for that you truly have a client you are working with. There's a way you can go about it. How will you come here and share your client's sensitive information on TikTok? All in the name of creating content. If I'm the one, I won't also take it lightly with you. I won't. That's what I always tell you guys. You can't be behaving like all these Pablo Pablets. We are an educated person. You are working remotely. For you to work remotely, you need to have some high level of confidential. You don't just call me and say, you see those people that you say, a day in my life as a virtual assistant. Look at them. You only see their laptop. You will not even see what they are doing. Not that I cannot do it, but I don't have the strength. Yesterday, I carried my phone. I want to make a vlog on my trip to Ghana, Benin, Togo, all the country. I just started. I tell myself, I say, what? I don't do anything. Everybody just leave. I don't even have that strength. Not to talk of you now doing a day in my life of a VA. You are not showing your client's information. The client's email is there. The client, I think they are communicating or something. In my own office, if you see me posting my boss video out there, it's because I've gone to a stage whereby even my boss know. I'll tell her, like, we always share our videos like, hey, I have this picture of you, we're having a meeting, I have this and have that. People post my picture. I see my videos on my colleagues' status every now and then. So if my boss sees, he or she know, she's aware. Like her face, even if it's still her face, it's still okay. But emails, customers' informations, no, now we can do better. If anyone didn't trust you that you're actually working with a client, then let the person fuck off. Now the client saw that, and it wasn't like a smooth ride with them. It wasn't. Please, let's be very careful. I know we want to create a content. I know we want to create a content, but let's be using, yeah, at time we need to use it. I'm not blaming the girl. She does not know. Maybe she does not know that her boss will view her TikTok page or whatever. That's why I always tell you guys, if you want to work as a virtual assistant or a remote worker, whatever, your client will want to poke nose into your social life. Yes. And you guys remember I said I went for content creation with Adefe. I told you guys then. One of the things she told me was that, babe, this page is your life, right? There's some personal things you should take off this page. You don't need it. You want to portray yourself the professional way, just there's some things you should just remove from this page. If you see my page, if anybody comes to my page, it has to do with everything about me being a VA, nothing outside. Even if I post any social this thing, it is still moderate. If you're a virtual assistant and you've posted something like, I will snatch somebody's husband, I used to steal somebody money, Kiniko, Kiniko, I don't know if you guys are getting what I'm saying. Oh, go and hide it. Go and remove it. Because they will check your social media page. But there is a way in which, as an executive assistant, you can avoid this. For this, see, I'm an executive assistant. I work as a travel planner. I work as a customer care support. Up till now, none of my staff have my number. No, no, I don't save their number. Even if I have reasons to save your number, you will not see my status. You won't see my status. You won't. I won't even follow you on LinkedIn. I won't even follow you on TikTok. Maintain your social life. I want to maintain mine. Imagine me telling my boss like, "Hey, I'm not feeling fine." Like, let's assume I've lied for my boss today that I'm not feeling fine, no. And my boss is my TikTok followers, and to see me here live, what do you think she'll be thinking? So you lied that you're not feeling fine and you're doing this? There are some things that no one needs to tell us. We just need to just do 1 plus 1 and fix. So posting your client's information online, all in the name of content, is not a good thing. My virtual assistant, please, I beg you in the name of God, it is not a good thing. Now we'll be moving forward with travel planning. Any travel planner in the house? Do we have any travel planner in the house? If you're a travel planner, can I see you comment travel planning, travel planner, travel, 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 travel? As a newbie, to get experience, can I work for free or should I charge? I would advise you volunteer first. IBK writes. I would advise you volunteer first. Yeah. Any travel planner in the house? My remote coordination involves travel planning. Okay. Any other person? If you are working as an executive assistant, you will need to plan travels as well. Oh. So in case you don't know, now you know. So you better listen and listen carefully now. Eh, eh. Now me pause. Now me for to be boss now. Show you the wife. Now me pause now. That travel plan now. Now she's here whining me. Now she's here whining me. Come to think of it, I've not had my breakfast yet. Wow. So now I'm not going to shout here. In fact, I'm going to go straight to the point. I know how to do travel itineraries, but I haven't had the chance. Don't worry, Omolewa, just be here. you will learn a lot. I think the travel planner have a lot here, even more than the executive assistant. So guys, can we take these likes to 50K likes? We are almost there. Please, we are almost there. Please, guys, I will need to take just. I'm sorry, please. I will need to take just 1 minute break. I need to put something in my mouth. I'm having ulcer, so I need to take my medicine. First 1 minute. Trust me. But you can help me by just power tapping. Namimport, are you open to come up? Who wants to help me with managing this while I'm away? Namimport, do you want to come up? I guess I'll be right back. Please. Thank you.
Oh. Good morning, everyone. While our host is away at the fort, so okay, I think we are going to travel planning. You can just keep dropping your comments, and I will see if I can just pick it up from there. For Honey Drop, as a newbie, where can I find volunteer jobs? Okay, you can go to Volunteer Match. Go to Volunteer Match, create a profile there, then you pick the niche that works for you, and you will see jobs related to your profile. Do you get that? Madam Rachel, there is no live discount. There is nothing like live discount. I beg, I beg, I beg, I beg, I beg. I beg. There's nothing like live discount. The rate is discounted already. 50,000 naira is not too much for all the skills and everything that you'll be learning in the class. Trust me. 50,000 naira is not too much. It's actually that is even a steal because some of our students are already saying that we should stop taking classes because they also want to learn. Sorry, they want to earn money. That we should stop taking classes like allow me plenty. Mr. Allow me plenty that we should stop teaching you people. So there is nothing like live discounts. Please, that 50,000 naira is discounted already. Okay, Demi Goddess, what is the basis of travel planning? Do you have any experience as executive assistant or what? Oh, HAM. Okay. Okay, no problem. We'll be expecting your DM. Thank you. I honestly don't know that you're the one. It's good to have you here. It's good to have you here. How are you? Compliments of the season, everyone. And okay, thank you, Messi baby, for helping me to type that out. Thank you. Yeah, that was the spelling volunteer match. Just go there, create your profile, and you will see jobs related to your niche. Ayuk's lifestyle. Even if I don't know lifestyle, I remember the name. Ayuk's of life. I greet you. I greet you. Allow me plenty. Yes, now. Imagine. All right. Thank you. Okay, yeah, let me go this. Yes. Okay, as an executive assistant, you tend to plan school for your boss. Oh, Mercy baby, I don't know you're the one. Okay, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Rukayat. Yeah, no, it's not Rukayat. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's Rukay. I think it's Rukayat. I don't know, but it's still the same thing. Don't mess with my head. AJM, thank you. Compliment of the season.
Ah, guys, can anyone hear me? Thank you so much, Namimport.
You're welcome, Mama.
Thank you. You okay? She's actually a travel planner as well, and she's one of my coach. Yeah, so guys, sorry for the break in transition. It's very important I do that. If not, I'm going to regret that I didn't eat anything. You told us to DM you and you never respond. Oh, Africa Radio and TV, is you again. Oh, how are you? Okay, now let's talk about travel planning. As an executive assistant, you have reasons to plan travels. You have reasons to plan travels. Either a light travel or a vacation or a business trip or whatever. You always have reasons to do what? You always have reasons to do what? To plan travels. So now, most of us believe that to plan travels, all you need to do is book accommodation, book flights, book activities, book transportation. You get what I'm trying to say? So now we are going to have this like a lecture. I'm not going to be the one talking and talking. If you want to, um, I actually want you guys to input your own as well, so that we all can learn together, and I can carry everyone along. I think that will help us in understanding better, about these things. So now, guys, let's assume that for every trip that you want to plan, your client will always have a budget. Your client will always have a budget. Yes. This small Ghana that I went like this, I spent 1.5 million. Yes. And when I was telling the person, I said, "This is my budget. Do you have any trip that I can just go within this time?" I said, "Hey, I have a group trip. You can pay this, then you do this, then you do that." Even though I brought around 30,000 naira back home, or 35,000 naira thereabout. But that was my budget for the trip. Now, guys, a client, let's assume a client give you like, okay, my budget is £5,000, and he or she wants to go to Mexico from New York. He or she wants to go for vacation in Mexico from New York, and you've made your research, and the budget will not be enough. Can anyone tell me what my next step should be? Despite the fact that I know that this budget will not cover everything this client wants. My students, I don't want you guys to talk. I know you know this, but it's for those that are just joining us. Please, please. I know you know it. I know. Okay, Ufi says communicate with the client. Better, messy baby. Plan something around their budget. Okay. Make more research. Okay. Let's keep it coming, guys. So, guys, basically, when it comes to planning travel, I'm going to be taking it just like this so that people can understand. Ola me plenty. Ola me plenty. My student, I know you. If you think because of your social media handle, I will not know. I know you people. Teach us how to do it. Oh, in documentary. What's my mama come they do for you? My mama don't come again. Mommy, I see you. Hey, don't mind my mommy. So, guys, I'm going to be explaining this in details. Whenever a client, Whenever you want to plan a trip for a client, the first thing you want to understand is their budget. Having their budget, knowing their budget goes a long way. And whenever they give you that budget, like, hey, I want to go on a trip, or I want to do this, the first thing you want to ask them is, what is your budget? Do you have any budget? They will always have a budget. Some clients may have like an open budget. Like, I'm open to work between £5,000 to £10,000. Some clients might just be like, I can only spare £6,000 or $6,000 or 6,000 euros for this trip. Do you get? Now you started making your research. And making your research has to do with accommodation, right? The flight, everything. You said you're a travel planner. Can't expect me to be teaching everything. And you realize that the amount will not be enough. Instead of you going back to your client and say no. And another thing, you want to understand your client's preference. It's very, very important. Understand their preference. What type of hotel do you want? What are the amenities that you want the hotels to have? What are these? What are that? Then that one will be a guide for you to actually search for everything, put everything together. So when you realize that your client's taste is above our budget, that above the budget, have it one side. The one within our budget, have it in another side. So that when you're going back to her, you let her understand that If you want something within your preferences and everything, this is the price. If you want to live within your means, this is the one you should go for. Because one thing I want you guys to understand is that, okay, no gatekeeping. One thing I want you guys to understand is that you do not have a say over the flight price. You can't. You are not the airline now. You cannot bargain with airline that this is what I want, this is what I want. Unless if your client has what we call a loyalty program point. When they have it, you may actually want to redeem that to get maybe a cheaper flight. So all you have to do is just compare pricing and everything and ensure that you reduce layovers as much as possible. It's very, very important as well. But in a situation whereby your client's budget cannot, do that, then your boss needs to just deal with the layovers. Am I communicating? So don't just go back to your client and say, no, this thing is not working. Make it work. Like Olabi Plenty said, maybe economy over business. Or there are some flexible business as well. This life is not recorded though. Honestly, it's not recorded. It's not recorded. How do you record it? I don't know. How do they record live session? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to record though. I don't know. So guys, let's move forward. We have a lot to treat about this travel planner. So if you're a travel planner, you want to support me by power tapping and sharing, and you want to listen as you're power tapping as well. I wrote it here like you do not have a say about the flight anyways, yes, but you can always check prices. Just try to compare pricing and see the one that you can tell your client like, hey, just do this and just do that. But number one, no should never be in our dictionary as a virtual assistant. No, or there is nothing, or it cannot work. Something must work. It might necessarily not be what I want, but what you think might work. But what you think might work, yes. So now let's talk about the flight now. We're going to begin it one after the other. Now let's talk about flight. There are some clients that they just want to book first class. Some clients are ready to splash money on flights. If they want it, let them have it. Some clients already have airlines that they love flying with. That is why understanding client preference goes a long way. If they love flying Delta, if they love flying whatever American Airlines, if they love flying whatever, if they want first class, book it for them. Mm. If they want business class, book it for them. If they want economy, book it for them. But guys, when it comes to booking of flights, there are so many things you need to be aware of. And the first one has to do with the cancellation policy. You want to understand cancellation policy, which means before you book any flight for your boss, ensure that your boss truly, like, is truly ready to book that flight. And whenever you are giving your client like a quotation, let your client understand that flight prices changes. If you check the price now, if you go back tomorrow, the price would have either reduced or increased. Mm, your client needs to understand that one. That's one. Number two, when you are booking, okay. Oh, Dazzling B, thank you so very much. I appreciate you, Mama. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. I appreciate you, Mama. God bless you. Thank you so much, Oyinche. When you're booking the flight, ensure you get to know the airline that your boss wants. If your boss does not have any airline, then you can book anywhere. But if your boss has, try to understand the loyalty program points as well. It goes a long way. My students, the loyalty program points means that, this is how I can explain. When you're using a particular card to book a flight, or you are a frequent flyer, or you are a frequent, what do they call it? Client. for that particular airline, they'll actually give you some points, and that point you can use it to redeem, let's say to get access to lounge or to get an upgrade or to get whatever. You get what I'm trying to say? That's what we call loyalty program points. You can actually want to make your research about it more. You want to understand that too. So whenever you want to book a flight, always be mindful of layovers. Layovers is very, very important because most clients they just want to fly straight. But in a situation whereby they need to have layovers, you want to ensure you book a flight with reasonable layovers. You don't want your executives to be stranded for 12 hours, 24 hours in an airport waiting for their connection flight. And if it is a situation beyond your control, you want to communicate it. Now, travel planner in the house. In a situation whereby your boss needs to fly, let's say from New York to let's say Ghana, and there is a layover of 15 hours, what would be your next step as an executive assistant or as a travel planner? Your boss is having more than 6 to 12 layover hours. What would be your plan as an executive assistant or as a travel planner? What? I'm waiting for us. I'm waiting for us, so nobody knows. Your client want to fly from New York to Ghana. Your your client now, no, you guys don't understand what I'm trying to say. You've already booked the flight. Your client is aware that there's going to be 12 hours layover or even 24 hours layover. What will be your next action? What will be your plan without your boss having to tell you? Omalewa, exactly. You guys don't understand. I'm saying your boss already approved that you booked that flight. Like book it. Your client is aware that he or she is going to have that layover. What you can do, let's say you've searched for other airlines, it's still the same thing. The layover is not reasonable. All these things usually happen when it is a last minute flight and it is not something you plan, let's say a few months or 3 months ago. What you want to do is to ensure that you book an accommodation near the hotel. And if it is something that it has to do with 24 hours, although I would advise not to even book that kind of layovers, it's annoying. Minimum of 6 to 12 hours. If it is 6 hours, your boss can still want to hang around, maybe book a lounge access for him or her to just stay and chill for the 6 hours. But if it is more than 6 hours, you want to book an accommodation. The accommodation should be closer to the airport, of course. Then you need to book transportation. All these things should be in the budget, as Ifis says. You need to add it to your itinerary. We are coming to itinerary building, oh. We are coming. We are coming. If you are my student, can I see you? Can I see you type hi in the comment section? Because this topic is actually for you guys and for everybody. But I want to see if I have some of my students here. If you are there, just say hi, 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 hi. Rita, I see you. Okay. Okay, Uzo. Okay. All right. All right. Great. Great. Oh, Define. It's been a while. How are you? I'm glad you guys are here and we are learning together. It's a great one. You want to input everything into your boss what? Into your boss budget. That when you get to this particular country, there's a 12 hours layover. I thought airline provide accommodation for long. Not all airlines. Not all airlines, Bisola. Not all airlines. I think it is just we have just few of them, not everybody. But if you are flying first class, yes, but first class. For you to even fly first class, you won't really have like that long layovers. Or if you book first class for that one, they will be the one to actually deal with your accommodation. But not everybody. It is what it is about the airline. So you want to ensure that you book the accommodation and you also book transportation for your client to move from the airport to the hotel and from the hotel back to the airport. And whenever you are booking that for your client, remember that your client will have lunch, will have dinner. You want to put suggestion where he or she can get their breakfast. If the hotel does not have a restaurant on site, you want to search for nearby restaurants that your boss can walk into and have lunch or dinner or whatever. Yeah. So guys, I want to ask this question. I want to ask this question. If your guys layover is over 12 hours and your client needs to book an accommodation, you've booked everything, and the next flight, the connecting flight leaves by 1 p.m. What time will you advise your boss to be at the airport for connecting flight? The connecting flight leaves 1 p.m. What time would you advise your boss to be at the airport for the connecting flight? I'm waiting, guys. Okay. 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 Now let me tell you my own, or let me give you the right answer. The first thing you want to check is to check the distance from the hotel to the airport. Yes, some hotels near the airport can be very, very expensive. I may actually want to book an hotel that's let's say 45 minutes drive or 30 minutes drive or 20 minutes drive from the airport. Now, the first thing I want to do is to calculate how many minutes will it take my boss to get from the hotel to the airport. If it is 30 minutes, then we hold 30 minutes. If it is a connecting flight, your boss needs to be at the airport 2 hours prior. But if it is an international flight, let's say your boss is just traveling or just coming back from that country, then 3 hours, which means 3 hours plus 30 minutes. Which means if it's a connecting flight, your boss needs to be at the airport, or they need to pick your boss up around, is it 10 o'clock? Yes, your boss will be at the airport 10:30, 11:30, 1:30. No, 9:30. So your boss will be at the airport for 10, 11, 1. Yes, 9:30. So that for your boss to get to the airport 10 o'clock, then your boss will have 2 hours for check-in and all the things. Am I communicating? But if it is an international flight, then your boss needs to be at the airport 3 hours. And that 3 hours is different from the hours that you're going to calculate, like the movement from the hotel to the airport. So which means if it is an international flight, your boss needs to be at the airport 3 hours prior. 3 hours prior. So if it is 1 hour drive from the hotel to the airport, you need to add it together. That's 4 hours. All these things is has to do with our Google Map, calendar management, attention to details, being proactive. Yeah, that's why I said this session is only for those that really want to learn. Guys, we stop power tapping. What is going on? That is about flight. Now, let's talk about booking of accommodations. Let's talk about booking of accommodations. Let's talk about booking of accommodation as a virtual assistant. There are several ways you can book accommodation, in which I'm not ready to share here. Now, let's assume you book your accommodation, you've went to several sites, your boss have approved that go and book this thing. You've booked it. Oh, okay, let me put it this way. Before you book an accommodation, guys, what are the things that you need to check before you book that particular hotel or Airbnb, whatever, for your clients. Even if your boss says, hey, I want you to book this accommodation for me, what is that major thing that you should look out for to decide if you truly want to book it for your clients or not? Travel planners in the house. Okay? Okay? Mm-hmm. Number one, location is very important. Especially if your boss is traveling to the company for vacation. You want to ensure that your boss is at the city center. That one is very, very important. Please, another thing is you want to understand, you want to read reviews. What are clients saying about this particular hotel? Is the hotel safe? Is the location safe? It is not just about booking of accommodation for your client. Is the location safe? It's just like you coming to Nigeria and booking hotel for your boss in Bere, here in Ibadan, or booking accommodation in Foko because it is cheap. Eh, uh-huh. Or booking it in Oshodi. You want to look for safe locations. You want to look at clients' reviews. You want to make your research about the hotels. You want to check the cancellation options. Ayuks, yes. If you want to cancel, yes, cancellations policy. You want to understand it so that if your boss see another place, it's very easy for you to just cancel without forfeiting any amount and book that one. Uh-huh. You guys are the real MVP. Everything about us is working now. Now, that is one. Ensure that you make your research about it. What are people saying about it? The reviews. Is this safe? That is it. And another one has to do with, okay, let's talk about the country itself now. We're almost getting there. I don't know if I'm communicating, guys. Like, are you guys understanding what I'm saying? Am I communicating? Am I confusing you guys? So that I can know before I continue with this nonsense what I want to talk. Because this section that we are going to, before we get to building of itineraries, is very, very important. Now, whenever you are planning a trip for your client, you want to understand that country. You want to you want to understand their culture. You want to understand their way of life. People do talk that when people do say that when you go to Egypt or some Arabian countries, you are not expected to expose your body. You need to dress decent. All these things you need to understand. You need to do what? You need to understand their culture. What language do they speak? That is why you need to advise your client to have a Google Translator ready. In case he or she wants to communicate with someone, use your Google Translator. It's very important. And I'm going to be using this in my current trip as an example. Because we can't speak their language. Ah God, I'm a Sonwo. Where are you from? Nigeria. Pay 5,000 CDs. 5,000 sefa. Oga, wetin we do? We have every document, we have everything. They were just duping us. Because we are Nigerian. That is a story for another day. Understand their culture, their way of life. How should your boss dress? If English is not widely spoken or whatever, ask your boss to do what? To download Google Translator. So that when he or she type in English, you have Google Translator to translate it to their own language and you can play it for the person. And this is what I'm trying to say. Oh. Mm, yes, it's very, very important. All these things, they expect you to know this as a travel planner. Now, understanding their red zones. You don't want to book accommodation in direct zones. It's just like you coming to Nigeria and booking accommodation for someone in Maiduguri, in Kano, in Sokoto, whatever. You don't want to do that. That's why, as a travel planner, you need to make your research direct zone. Now, another important thing is understanding their country currency, especially for those of us from Nigeria traveling to another country. When I made my first trip out of Nigeria, then I went to Kenya. It was a cultural shock for me because when I got there, I realized that our own almighty 100,000 naira is 12,000 naira in Kenya. I didn't see that coming. Maybe I would have prepared my mind. That's why when I travel with Iripe tours, she always tell us like, guys, you need to budget this so amount for this trip. If you want to travel, you need to hold this amount. You need to do this. You need to do that. You want to understand their currency, convert it. If your boss is going from New York to Australia, you want to convert their money. If he's coming to Nigeria, you want to let her know that okay, if you come, you need to hold at least budget this amount per day, so that your clients will know that they need to budget. And if you don't understand the currency, you won't know. Benin, this Cotonou there, our 1,000, our no, they are 1,000 naira, they are 1,000 sefa. Like I will give them 3,000 naira Nigerian money for them to give me their 1,000 sefa. Which means for 10,000, they will be giving me around 3,500 sefa. And if you want to eat in Cotonou, you need to save, you need to buy food around 3,500 sefa or 3,000 sefa. So which means per meal, I spend 10,000 naira Nigerian money. And in Ghana, they spend cedis. My almighty 100,000 naira is their own 900 cedis. You want to understand the currency. 100,000 naira, my own almighty 100,000 naira in Nigeria is their own 900 cedis. So before you plan any trip, thank you, Uzo, you want to understand their currency. You don't want it to be a cultural shock for your boss. And you want to understand, like, for you to have any meal, budget this also amount for your meals. All these things you have to make research of. That's why it is not just by mouth to say I'm an executive assistant or I'm a travel planner. They expect you to know all these things. You want to understand their currency. It goes a long way there. Now, after that, let's talk about SND. Thank you, guys. Now, question for you guys. Your client is flying from New York to Ghana, or let's say from New York to Mexico. How do you ensure that your boss feels secured during a trip? How do you ensure? When it comes to booking of transportation, okay, let's start from this. Your bus flight lands 10 a.m. to Mexico. What time will you tell the driver to come and pick your bus up from the airport? Guys, that's a question for us. That's a question for my travel planners. Your bus flight lands 10 a.m. What time will you tell the driver to come and pick your bus up from the airport? If you're giving me time, tell me reasons. Give me reasons. Yeah, I think that way everyone will learn together. They'll know the reason you're saying 9:30. They'll know the reason why you're saying 9:45. Yes, guys. Let's go. My travel planner in the building. We need to think. We need to pause. Okay. IBK Rice says 9 a.m. to avoid traffic and unforeseen issues. Okay. Let's keep it coming, guys. Let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. Oh, my travel planner is sleeping. Oh. Okay, okay, okay. There's something I want you guys to understand when it comes to planning a trip. Okay, I want you guys to understand something. For any airport transporter or any airport drivers, they will always have your flight and they will always monitor your flight. If there's a flight delay, they will know. And there's a way you can check flight delays as well. Yeah, if your flight is delayed or whatever. You won't be able to communicate with the person. You won't be able to communicate with my boss. My boss will not be able to communicate with the driver. But the driver has my boss flight, so they can track their flight if there is delay or whatever. See, it is Nigerians that will always have what we call African time. That will always call African time. See, if my boss is to land 10 a.m., I'll ask the driver to come around 10:20 to 10:30 a.m. Yes. In fact, with the luxury company I've worked for, the drivers are to be there 10:45 or 10:40. But it's at the discretion of the driver that he or she will be like, okay, let me just be at the airport that particular point that the client will land. Do you know why I put overtime? Like, okay, my flight lands at 10. Come and pick me up at 10:30. Do anyone know why? Why I'm telling the driver to come and pick my boss at 10:30, even when I know that the flight lands at 10 a.m. Anyone? Anyone? Yeah. Clearance of luggage. Exactly. There'll be checkout procedure. You need to pass through immigration, pass through customs, pass through whatever, clear, get your luggage, everything. You don't want to keep the driver waiting. Exactly. You don't want to keep the driver waiting. I already told you, the driver will come and pick you up 9:30 or 10:30 when you land. I'll just be okay, this is where the driver will be waiting. Just go there. Once it's 9:30, the driver will be there. At least by then, you should have access to the airport internet. You should be able to chat with the driver, like, hey, where you are, or even message me. Oh, I'm now here. I'm looking for my driver. Then I can now call, hey, where are you? My client is there. But most drivers will always be there when the flight lands. But always give them like 9:30 or 10 or 30 minutes after so that they don't feel like we are delaying them. We are human. I don't know if I'm communicating, guys. So that one is very, very important. And when it comes to security, booking, see, the type of transport driver that you book goes a long way. And if you want to ensure that your client feels secure from the airport to the hotel, what type of driver would you book? That's another question. What should be your process when you're trying to book a transportation vendor or booking a driver, whatever, for your client? Okay? Any other suggestion? Let's keep it coming, my travel planners. Yes, Valentina, Rita, yes, you're on point. Every Rose, yeah, you're making sense. Okay, I'm still prof. Any other suggestion, guys? Okay, okay, guys. Thank you so very much. I appreciate your contributions to this class. Whenever you are booking a transportation distance, it is very, very important that you check with the hotel first. It's very, very important. When you check with the hotel, your client will have this peace of mind, like, yes, this this driver is actually from my hotel. So you have any issue of getting lost? Because we get lost. So see, for this trip where I go, we are just doing roundabout. I I was that. But if the hotel came to pick you from the airport, you won't get lost. That's one. If the hotel do not have an airport pickup, you want to check for Bolt or Uber or Black Lane. Exactly, you're being kidnapped. Exactly. If not, then you want to check for a registered airport transfer companies. Make research about them. Situation like this, don't be stingy. Don't be looking for the most affordable, because the most affordable can land you into trouble. Look for the most trusted company. Thank you, TechRack. Look for the most trusted good company to pick your bus from the airport to the hotel. And another advice you need to advise your client is to download map, offline Google Map when you she lands. So that even if you or she do not have, let's say, internet or whatever, he or she can track the movement. Okay, we are going to this hotel. Your boss said put it in the Google. So that as the driver is driving, you said you are driving. If not for my offline Google map, our driver for carry us go where we don't know that day. If not, our driver for carry us go where we don't know. Now me they shout, oh no, like this, you go pass hold up like this, I can pick you for house. It's very, very important. But if it is from the hotel, you know now, definitely the person will take me to where he or she is coming from. You get what I'm trying to say? So you need to ensure that your client is safe. And how do you ensure their safety? By ensure that you book a legit transportation this thing for her. You ensure you make research about the location of the hotel, ensure it is not in their red zone, ensuring your clients understand their culture, understand their currency, get a Google translator, get a Google offline Google map, all these things. Am I communicating, guys? And as a virtual assistant, you must always be available to support your clients during the trip. You must always be available. It's very, very important. And as a virtual assistant, you need to ensure that you have strong internet connection. Sorry, strong internet connection. It goes a long way. If you do not have a strong internet connection, it's just like you telling your boss that you do not have transportation fare to come to the office. You need to be reachable. You need to be reachable, especially as an executive assistant. You don't want to have a meeting with your boss, or you want to have a meeting on behalf of your boss and your internet is shaky. It's it goes a long way. You want to ensure that. Then power supply. I know Nigerians, everything sucks. But if you are already making that money as a virtual assistant, and apart from light, I have inverter, I have generator. So anything. Although the inverter that I have, I've not even on my gen in the past 2 months. The inverter is working for me 24-hour supply. So I don't have any issue. So you want to ensure that you have a standby power supply in case NEPA start misbehaving and everything. It's very, very important. Now, before we move forward to building of itineraries as a travel planner, any question? I actually want us to take this live to 100K while I answer your questions. Any questions before we move forward to the building of travel itineraries? And this is actually one of the things that I actually want. Can we have a second version of this class? What do you mean by second version? This is the version. As the spirit leads me, that's why I came live today to talk about this thing. I've always listened to come live. Any question, guys? Why would take this likes to 100K likes? Any question? Do you guys have any question for me before we move forward to building how to build itineraries? What are the key points that you need to add? Thank you, Miss Rita. How are you doing? Yay! So, guys, while we are waiting for you guys to take me to 100,000 likes, I want you guys to understand that it's not just about enrolling for virtual assistant class. It's about understanding your role, understanding what client is expecting from you. Because it is easy to get trained. In fact, it is easy to land a job. But you see, keeping that job is the main work. Ensuring you are succeeding in that role is the main job. Thank you so much, Rita. God bless you. Understanding that role, keeping your job is very, very important. And as a newbie, you will learn. You will make terrible mistakes. Trust me, you cannot avoid it. You will make it. And that is why I always come here to ensure that I share my own experience. So that whenever you want to find yourself in this situation, you'll be able to use my little experience as a guide to avoid that mistake. And I said, when virtual assistant is not saturated like this, there is no one to help us. No one is coming live. In fact, I'm not even on TikTok. No one is there to guide us. That's why we now have so many virtual assistant coach out here training us, educating us, giving us information about how to be a successful virtual assistant. And for those of you that have been messaging me that you want to get trained on virtual assistant, yes, I train people on virtual assistant. And what we do is we train people on how to be a virtual assistant in the field of executive assistant, customer care support, travel planning. We teach you everything in the class. We also train you on how to land a remote job on Upwork, on LinkedIn, how to volunteer, how to ace jobs interviews, how to send code emailing, coaching, guidance, how to submit proposals, how to write cover letters, all these things. Like our class is fully packed. It's not a class that when you're done with the training, you'll be looking for where to learn how to land remote jobs. All these things are together. Apart from the fact that we'll teach you all these skills, we'll teach you how to land remote jobs on all these remote sites, how it works, what clients are expecting from you. We're also training how to ace jobs interviews because you all can agree with me that we have so many people that they are very good at what they do, but when it comes to selling themselves to clients, they don't know how to go about it. All these things are what we put together. And at the end of the class, we always have a certified group where we had everybody that whenever you need help, whenever we have like this session, we're always there to connect again and learn new things or come together via Google Meet and learn. And our classes, we have individual class, that if you want just one-on-one, it is 150,000 naira. But if you want group class, we have another class coming up January. It is 50,000 naira for the group class. It is from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday for 2 weeks, and we'll have a Q&A section, telling us what to expect as a virtual assistant. So guys, if you actually want to enroll, you just need to do is just go to my profile, watch my pin videos, click the link in my bio to explore the classes that we have. If you decide that I already have the skills, but you want to learn how to learn remote jobs, we have classes there as well. If you want me to mentor you, I have a 30-minute section that you can actually go there and book for you to have a mentoring section with me. I have everything. So that's that. So if you want to enroll for the class, ensure you just send me a DM and secure your slot. How do you make payment for all your client expenses? Oh, Valentina, thank you so very much for this question. Let me clap for you. Thank you so much for this question. Valentina, while I'm waiting for you guys to take me to 100,000 likes, I'm answering all questions. Valentina is asking, how do you make payments for all client expenses? See, as an executive assistant, as a travel planner, you need to build trust. Because someone like me, my clients are, we've already gotten to a stage whereby I have their information. I can just pay for whatever I want to pay for, as long as they approve that I pay everything. Now, guys, I want you guys to listen because this is a very good question. Some clients, they don't feel comfortable with them giving you your card. Yes, they only ask you to make the research and they'll make payments by themselves. So, as a travel planner, what I always do is that whenever my client, whenever I'm planning a trip, I always tell the vendor, let's say the hotel, like, hey, can you send me a payment link? When they send me the payment link, I'll send it to my client. My clients will make payment, share me the receipt, and I'll share the receipt back to the hotel. If it has to do with flight, I'll only provide the link to booking of the flight so that my boss can finalize it. If it has to do with booking of activities, I'll request for payment link, share it with my boss, and he or she can make payment. While some boss, they are very good, like they don't care, they trust you, they'll give you their information to book for them. But whenever you are booking anything, in fact, if you are the one paying, ensure that you are saving the receipt into a folder so that I can always make reference to it. Am I communicating? So if a point gives you the card, fine, all well and good. If not, just ensure that you get a payment link from the company. Send it to your boss to make payment. That's how to avoid wahala. But don't make it too rigid. If your client is not giving you access to use your card, all well and good. It's not bad. You get what I'm trying to say. So that's just it. So guys, any other question before we move forward into how to build itinerary as a travel planner or as an executive assistant? My students, are you still there? When it comes to invoicing, Rachel, we have so many templates in which you can use to actually build out your invoice. We have all these Canva templates, we have the Excel templates, we have the Google Docs templates. So just put it there. Mina, welcome. How are you? Guys, any other question, guys, before we move forward? Any other question before we get to building of itineraries as a virtual assistant? What is the fastest app or web for receiving payment from clients? We have several ways, babe. Some people use what's it called? If you mean client should pay you, we have several ways. For me, I use my domiciliary account. If I'm not using Upwork, if I'm using Upwork, you can attach your bank details to Upwork, and Upwork will make payments for you. We have several ones, so you just need to make your research and see the one that works for you. Any other question, guys, before we move forward on how to build itineraries? Building of itineraries. Building of itineraries. How do I handle unexpected changes like cancellations or delay? That's a good question, MC Pro. For example, if your flight gets cancelled, yes, yes, yes. I love that question. Let's assume your bus flight gets cancelled. Of course, if your flight gets cancelled, the airline will refund every penny back to the client. And a situation like this it's always a situation beyond our control. You want to ensure that you book the next available flight, which may actually cost an additional fee for your boss. You get what I'm trying to say? But in a situation like that, you want to ensure that you communicate with all the hotels, all the activities you booked, especially if you want to change things around or move things around. That my flight changes, I need to do this, I need to move this. You get what I'm trying to say? Being proactive goes a long way. You can't avoid, like, all these things are not avoidable, they will happen, but being proactive goes a long way. Let's say your client wants to forward the money to you to make payment of expenses for them. No, they will use their card. They will use their card. That's just it. MC Prof, thank you. They have to use their card. And another thing about newbies now is that most clients are now telling them to use their credit card to make payments on their behalf. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. No, 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 no. Please don't do that. Even if your boss insists, tell them that your credit card is not working or your bank card is not working. Tell them it is declined. Just find something. No, don't try it. I think that's a story for another day. Don't try it. Like, I can't really explain in details here. Don't try it. That's just what I can say. Try it for booking flights apart from Wakana. Wakana to book flights for your clients. TD. TD. Not try me. So guys, let's talk about building of itineraries. I know everyone especially wherever you guys get trained as a virtual assistant. Wakana is not an option, no vex. Mabinu love. Mabinu. Mabinu. Me say, I don't want to laugh. Honestly, we are not laughing at you, but it's the Wakana that me I'm laughing at, not you, Chidi. I love you plenty. Oh my god, I said the fact that I'm running temperature and I'm having a headache, I people still want to force me to laugh. Is what is so yeah, now let's be serious guys. Let's talk about building of itineraries. And I'll let's tell you guys, as a travel planner, as an executive assistant, it is very easy for anybody, even someone in that is not in our field, to make research about accommodations, to make research about flights, to make research about activities. But when it comes to building of itineraries, that's when they know who the real travel planner is. I've traveled a lot, and I would advise you as a travel planner, you need to travel. I think when you travel, you will understand better how to serve your clients. At times when you see me travel from one country to another, I know it's for fun, it's for vacation, but at the same time I'm learning because that is my field. I'm a travel planner for my clients. So that whenever I'm building itineraries, I know what to put. When we are building an itinerary is a document that will serve as a guide for your client for his or her day-to-day activities in that country. Remember, you will not be there, but that itinerary will be a guide for your client. And what makes you stand out as a travel planner building an itinerary has to do with you paying attention to details. That's why when I ask my students to build an itinerary for me, and I see some itineraries, I just be like, oh. And you see some itineraries, you'll be like, yes, this is what we're talking about. It is not just about going to Canva or going to Travify or going to several itinerary builders and build itineraries. It is about putting in all the information required that your boss, you know you've done a good job as a travel planner if your boss do not have any reasons to call you or to message you during his or her trip. Even when he or she wants to message you, it will be like, babe, you've done a great job. That's why when you check my review on Upwork, my clients will always tell you that when it comes to paying attention to details, when it comes to building great itineraries, give it to mommy. And it's not as if I woke up one day and I start getting it right. It's because I've worked in that shoes, I've traveled, I understand this, and that's why I'm able to do what? To come here and train you guys and also to give a great service to my clients. Thank you, Ayuk. Now, how do we build a travel itineraries as a travel planner? I'm going to start as if we are in primary school. Yes, permit me to just do that. Permit me to do that. But when it comes to building itinerary, let's build day one ourselves. Let's build it ourselves. Okay. In my itineraries, despite the fact that I've put all the headings, I've beautified everything, whatever, whatever, I want to add the transportation that will take my boss from our house to the airport. When I book that, I want to ensure that the transportation, the itinerary includes the driver's number, the pickup time, the payment as well, so that my boss know. In fact, I will add the receipt that yes, I've paid this person. I'll add it there. The pickup time, the drop off time. Then I will add the flight time. Okay, your flight, you're supposed to check in at this time. Okay, your check-in time is between 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. So the 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. will be check-in time. I'll add your flight information. Everything about your flight will be there. Your seat number, is meal included? Do I request for a special meal for you? If you're traveling with your child, have I requested for this what's it called? This child business or whatever you guys called it. I want to add everything there. After that, I want to add whenever you have layovers. Okay, you have layovers here and here. During your layovers, this is the hotel you are going. This is the transport person that will come and pick you. This is when you will be returned back to the airport. All the information will be there. The vendor's contact will be there. How to reach their website is there. I want to put everything so that when I'm stuck or when you are stuck, I'm not the first person you want to call. You want to ensure you make use of the information I've provided for you. After that, when you get to that country, all the information about where to find your driver will be there, your driver contacts will be there, your driver website will be there, like anything that will make you reach to the client. If it is from the hotel, if your client is not, if the driver is not responding, you may actually want to reach out to the hotel. This is their number. Everything. Think about it this way. I get to the airport. I could not find my driver. Now, who can find my driver for me? The hotel. If the hotel is not the owner of the driver, then I want to include the website of the driver. I want to include the number of their company in general. That is why whenever you are booking for a transport distance, ensure that you have the number of the company and you have the number of that driver. It goes a long way. Now we've done that, right? Now, after that, you want to put the Google Map link from the airport to the hotel for your boss. So that when your boss click on it, it will take him or her to our Google Map and the person can also follow the trip. Giving your clients what they want without asking for it makes you a successful travel planner. After that, when you get to the hotel, I will add the accommodation. I will add the type of room I booked for you, all the amenities. I will add if there is breakfast included and everything. I've included everything. And one of the worst thing you want to do as a travel planner is starting your activities that day that your client lands in that country. Unless if it is just like a 1 hour or 2 hour flight and your boss will be in the hotel, let's say around 12 a.m. or 12 p.m. or maybe 11 a.m. in the morning. But at times you need to have time for your boss to rest. Most of you will plan itinerary. You will not include where your boss can have dinner, lunch, breakfast. Like, what do you expect your boss to eat? What do you expect your boss to eat? Add where they can get dinner, add where they can get lunch. Although if there is a restaurant on site or the hotel also have a restaurant, you want to include it like, oh, this hotel also have a restaurant in case you want. But most clients they want to explore different restaurants. You want to add some nearby restaurants that they can go, especially walking distance. that they can walk, like, oh, this is like 5 minutes walk or 2 minutes walk to the restaurant. And you want to include the Google map from the hotel to that restaurant. You want to make research about the restaurant. Is it okay? Is it good? What are people saying about the restaurant? Then your client can rest for that day and go and sleep. First day should be one of the light day for your client because he or she has been traveling for only God know how many hours flight. You don't want to complicate things for her. They just want to eat and sleep. Then the next day, your activity should not start until 10 a.m. Can anyone tell me why the activities should not start until 10 a.m. the next day? Can anyone tell me? Can anyone tell me? I'm waiting. Can anyone tell me? Exactly. They need to rest. They need to have breakfast. Yes. You see that second day, the client just needs to rest. Especially if it's a long flight. Especially if it's a long flight. You don't want to just book another activity starting from 6 a.m. Do you want to kill your clients? Ensure they are well rested. Then you can start the activities. Now, let's dive into the activities. This is where majority of us miss it as a travel planner. Let's assume you've booked an activities from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. You want to ensure that any activity you are booking, transportation is included, which means the vendor will pick your bus up at the hotel to the activities and they will drop your clients back. But in a situation whereby the let's say the activities they do not have transportation is not included, you want to ensure you reach out to the hotel to look for driver that can take her there and come and pick her up as well. And whenever you are booking activities, you want to ensure that okay, let's assume they pick your bus up from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., right? That 1 p.m., you should know that your boss will need lunch. There should be a break for lunch. And you can look for restaurants within that activities area where your boss can have lunch. Then after lunch, the driver can now pick him or her back to the hotel. You want to give a buffer time for the next activities. You want to ensure that all the activities are not fully packed, that your boss will not even have time to eat. Unless if most of the activities are activities that meals are included. Am I communicating, guys? So just ensure that that transportation is included. You give them enough time to do what? You give them enough time to rest in between activities. And if they're having a night out activities, my love, if they're having a night live activities, whatever, ensure that you have a driver stand by that will pick them up after the activities at night. It's very, very important. And you want to ensure that they have dinners at when due. Unless your client says otherwise, like, you know what, don't worry about me tonight, I'm fine. Or I don't want to eat anything. And when you are building itineraries, you want to understand what your client wants. For someone like me, anytime I travel, even though I don't know how to swim, I want to be near water. I love clubbing. That's one thing about me. Whenever I go to a new country, I want to club. There's a particular dance workshop I attended in Ghana, and it was fun. That's my own preference. I love it. And I love trying street foods. I love trying new foods. Their street foods, their local foods, name it. All these things, when you understand what your client wants, it will help you in building an itinerary. So whenever you are building an itinerary, ask yourself, okay, my boss is out from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. He or she will get back to the hotel around 12:30. Okay, I can just tell the driver to just drop by at this restaurant for my boss to eat, then drive him or her back to the hotel, then give him or her like 2 hours to rest, take a bath before another activities. Then you cannot continue like that. But always give room for your client to rest. Always give room for your client to rest. It goes a long way. Am I communicating, guys? And always ensure that your clients share you their location so that it is very, very easy for you to track them. There is a way you can share your location with someone. For me now, my husband have my location wherever I am. I will just click on it. You will know where I am, especially when I'm in another country. The first day I traveled, then we stopped at Cotonou. He could not reach me till around 1 a.m. midnight. He messaged was like, babe, even if it is midnight that I saw this person, ensure you respond to me. I want to know where you are. Then I remember that I didn't share in my location. I had to share. I said, babe, when next you're worried about me, just click on this link. It will show you wherever I am. So that even if somebody kidnapped me, it's very easy for you to trace it back or to trace me to wherever I am. So when your clients share their location with you, it's very easy for you to know that okay, 2 p.m. my client should be at this particular place. Just click on it, then you see if the client is truly where they are supposed to be at that particular point in time. Am I communicating, guys? Any question so far, guys? Any question? Someone was asking me like, how can you make contact with this restaurant, hotel, and transport company over there? You can reach them via their email. Some people have Telegram, some people have WhatsApp. For someone like me now, I have a phone that I can call any country. Your clients might actually give that to you, especially if you work with a large company. So that's one thing about it. So the more you work for clients, the more you understand how to communicate with clients without having to use your Nigerian phone to call them. So when you're building of itineraries, ensure that all the information about the activities is there, the phone number, how they can reach the vendors, everything should be there. And ensure you calculate distance from one end to another. It actually guides you in building the itineraries. It's very, very important. And ensure that your clients have enough time to rest. There should also be an offline map for your clients so that even when they do not have access to the internet, their Google map will still be working. And also be available to support your clients during the trip. All these things are very, very important. Am I communicating, guys? So it is not just about um I'm a virtual assistant. I want to be a virtual assistant. I'm looking for a job as a virtual assistant. But when you have the job, do you know how to give clients what they want? Please, can you train me for this? Yes, we train people on how to be a virtual assistant. We do. And our next class starts January 13th, and the registration is currently open for it. So we train people on how to be a virtual assistant in the field of customer care, executive assistant, travel planner. We also train you on how to land remote jobs on Upwork, on LinkedIn, how to volunteer, how to use job interviews, how to submit proposals and cover letters, and what to expect in the virtual assistant world. So yes, available to support them as our please. Okay, that's actually a good question. When I say available to support them, imagine you've already booked a restaurant for your boss, and your boss get there and they are closed. Your boss might message you like, "Hey, this restaurant is closed. I need this." Or maybe your client even sees that, "Oh, I want to explore a nightclub, or I want to go for a nightclub. Can you make research on the nearby clubs I think I can go?" Then you can make your research. Be there to support them. That's what I'm saying. They might need your help during the trip. If they cannot find the driver, if the vendor is late, they always want to reach to you. How can I make my itinerary more meaningful and enriching rather than just busy? Kabi, that's just what I just listed out, babe. Like you want to ensure that you only add what is necessary. Don't jam-pack itineraries for your boss or for your client. Ensure the itinerary that you are planning is reasonable and is feasible. You don't want to put everything together and there will be a clash. Tell your boss, if you have to spend 2 hours in this place, spend that just 2 hours so that it will not affect other itineraries. It's very, very important. Please, do you teach how to do presentation and spreadsheet as an executive assistant? As an executive assistant, you always have reasons to do presentations. And it is not the normal presentation that Nigerians do. That they will ask you to do PowerPoint and this is what I've done, this is this. No. For example, if you are working on a particular task and you're having, because for us now, we always have a team meeting 3 times a week. Your boss will ask you, so how far Kasara, how far have you gone with your task? Do you need help with anything? So if I need help with anything, all I have to do is share my screen, tell them I've done this, I've done that, I need help with this, or I've tried to do this, but it's not working. So I need your guidance on this. And whenever you are stuck as a virtual assistant, you've tried your best possible to solve the issue, it is not working. Communicate with your client. Let them know. It is not until the due date before you now start communicating with your client that this, that. No, that is wrong. Okay? So, any other question, guys? I think I've tried. I'm supposed to end this live 10:30 and this is 11:30 already. Any question, guys? Any question before I run away? So if you want to enroll for the virtual assistant class, our class is currently, the registration is currently ongoing for January cohort. I saw someone saying after January it is February. No, it is not like that though. It has to do with when I'm available. That's when our class will be now for this year. Because right now I'm trying to get more clients as much as possible. So I only create this little time for us. So yes, I give certificates, yes. You're welcome, Popsin. Another question, guys. Any other question? Nam Import, are you there? Nam Import is also a travel planner and is one of our coach here. If you enroll for my class, you actually see her in class. She's actually one of our coach. I think she's not here again. I would have loved to bring her up to explain more about this travel planning field, but she's not there. Any question, guys? Please do you give certificates? Yes. After the training, do we have access to you for questions? Yes, I said after the class, you will always have a group called a certified group class where we had everybody so that we can always, be there to support ourselves and we'll always come live like this to learn new things. Or if it's something that I know that it's not something I want to bring out here, I will always have like a Google Meet with them and show them how these things work. So they'll always be. Where is the link for the classes, ma? You can check the link in my bio or send me a DM. The group class is 50,000 naira. Group class, if you want to learn with your peers. But if you just want one on one, it is 150,000 naira. But the group class is 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday for 2 weeks. And the individual class has to do with your availability and the coach availability for the 2 weeks as well. So I am just joining and want to know details on little bit. Kwam, you really mean so you're actually talking about what clients are expecting from me as a virtual assistant and how to be proactive and how to be a successful executive assistant and travel planner. So basically, if you want to learn more about what we do here, we also train people on how to be a virtual assistant. You actually want to watch my pin videos to learn more. We keep learning day by day. I've learned a lot of honest question answered. Thank you. You're welcome, AJM. How much is registration? I just answered. The group class is 50,000 naira and the individual class is 150,000 naira. So our class is actually beginner friendly, but what we need you to do is to have basic computer knowledge. It's very, very important. God bless you, ma. The class was so educating, and I wish I can afford the training. I get it, Joy, but trust me, you see value for your money. My students always say it like even the 50,000 naira is even a penny for me. Like they've learned a lot, so I get it. I get it. You're welcome, Lady Care. Thank you so much for this class. I learned new things added to my knowledge. Valentina, you're so welcome. So any other question, guys, before we call it a day? Thank you so much, guys. Let me clap for you people. Thank you so much, guys. Any other question before we call it a day? So if you want to enroll for the class, just ensure that you send me a DM. I'll send you all the details so that you can secure your slot. Do you have to own a laptop to be on the training? You can use your phone for the training, but you need a laptop once you land a client. So you can use your phone or your laptop for the training. But the moment you land a client as a virtual assistant, you will need your laptop. Thank you, KB. I really appreciate you too. Thank you for joining. Please, can you mentor someone with the role? Please, Mark, can you mentor someone with the role of administrative virtual assistant? I've already applied. You mean you are trained already? If you are already trained as a virtual assistant and you need my mentorship, then you want to book for my 30 minutes mentorship program. Okay, Chidi, no problem. I'll be expecting you. Aya Ijire said, what's this all about? We're actually talking about being a virtual assistant. Lovette, thank you so much for joining, baby girl. How are you doing? It's about virtual assistants, and we've come to the end of today's session. Maybe next time, maybe sometimes next week, I'll come live again to talk about the customer support of a thing, about how to be a project manager, event coordinators, and all that. So you actually want to follow me on your notification bell so that whenever I'm live, you get to know so we can learn and learn and learn a lot. I can say that today's class is one of the most powerful sessions I've ever had here on TikTok. Like I've never come live like this before and start talking about things like this. So and I'm glad I did. Today's end of 2024, and I'm glad I'm able to help others. Give them some information, share my tips on how to be a successful virtual assistant. But if you want to learn more, just ensure you are following my videos, you're following them, you're interacting. If you have any questions, feel free to put them down in the comment section, you know, on my post, so that whenever I have the time, I can make a video for you explaining and everybody can learn. So that's just it. You were talking about your 30-minute session, but you didn't finish it. No, I'm talking about several classes that we have. We have the group class. That is for those that want to learn being a virtual assistant from the scratch. And one thing I want you guys to understand, we have so many people that they've enrolled for the virtual assistant class from other people, but they don't even understand it. Why? Because most of them don't really enjoy the class being recorded, or they didn't hold them by the hands. Because our class is going to be a live class, like you will be in class, you ask questions, everything will be done in your presence, and there will always be assignments. You have real person to talk to, work with your colleague to solve problems and all that. So you want to enroll for the group virtual assistant class. If you are the type that you don't have time within the 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. time slot, you want to enroll for individual class, whereby we can fix time according to when you're available. If you are the type that already have the skills but just want to learn how to land remote jobs, basically remote jobs, then you want to enroll for the remote job class. That one is 25,000 naira. If you want to enroll for the 30-minute session, that one is 10,000 naira. So that is the 30-minute session has to do with me and you talking about your goals, how you can excel as a virtual assistant. That is one. Some people want to meet with me to know if virtual assistant is truly their field, what niche they should focus on. They just want to understand before they even apply for the class. So with several mentorship section that I've had, I realized that people have a lot of questions that they want to ask. They just need the right persons to guide them. That's why we have the mentorship class. So if you want that. But if you're not from a virtual assistance group class or individual class, everything is all together. So yes. So how do I put on notifications? How do you just click on the work from home? You see a bell there, then you click on it. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. Bishola Ademola, thank you. Joseph Wills, I'm glad you've learned a lot. What are the skills you have as a virtual assistant? Taxman, are you asking me? Or you asking me what are the skills that you need to have as a virtual assistant? And as a virtual assistant, guys, you need to just find your niche. When you find your niche, then you now need to learn the skills attached to your niche. That's just it. And you just need to just choose a specific niche. When you get better at it, then you also be an expert in that field. We have so many people, they are confused. You see someone calling him or herself virtual assistant. Only a product manager. Only a social media manager. Only a executive assistant. Only a. Our advice is a newbie, just pick one niche, get better at it. Then when you are good, then you can now move on to the next stage. Yes, no problem, Kabi. I'll be expecting you. So guys, thank you so much everyone. I appreciate you guys. And I didn't take your love for granted. But if anybody's telling you that being a virtual assistant, working remotely, earning in dollars per hour is easy, I don't know what to say. It's always tough at the beginning. But when you are into it, then it gets easier. But the beginning is always rough. It's not always a smooth ride. Yes. You fail, you learn, you unlearn, you make terrible mistakes, all those things comes with it. Just the same career that everybody has here. So just come up on number one. I'm done already. So guys, thank you so much everyone. So if you want to enroll for the class, just ensure you send me a DM to secure your slot. And I don't want a situation whereby it is when the class now starts or the class is fully booked. Then I say, but I sent you a message. Payment facilitate me adding you to class. Akima, come. Who beat you? Is it Abike? Shaya beat you? That's bad. Do you want to say hello, baby? Say hello. Go. How high is the possibility to get a job after the class? There's something I always tell people. Everything has to do with luck and knowing what you're doing. And getting a job, I always tell my students, I give you the first thing I want you to do is to volunteer. Then when you volunteer, you're good at what you do, and you start applying to job following the guidance. I'm giving you the maximum of 2 months. 2 months, yes. But it's not a get rich quick scheme. That's one thing. Are you going to teach us all the skills? Yes, I'm going to teach you all the skills in the virtual assistant field of travel planning, customer care, executive, and personal assistant. Say hello. Yeah, she's fine, no. She's fine. Mwah. Yeah, kiss them. Mwah. All right, guys. Thank you so much, everyone. Do we have any other question before we call it a day? Any question? That is the Mwah. That's my girl. Yes, Happy New Year in advance, everybody. Thank you so much for being part of my year. 2024 has been a year of breakthrough for me, and I'm wishing you guys the very best of luck. I don't have basic computer skills. Listen, you really, really need to have basic computer skills so that whenever we are teaching you in class, you understand. And when I'm saying basic computer skills, it means you should know how to type, you should know how to use Google Chrome, you understand all those things. How do you cope with children's and meetings? Chidi, this is the only child I have. And one thing about me is that I have help. Yeah, I have house help. My sister is with me too. Even when she's not around, my help is always there. So my child will go to school in the morning, come back middle of my work, attend to her. My house help takes the rest, then later in the night. So that's one thing. But at times it can be very tasky because before I have house help, anytime I want to have meeting with my clients, that is when my daughter wants to cry. That is when my daughter wants to attend the meeting with me. My daughter wants to say hello to everybody. So one thing I always try to do then whenever I know that I have any meeting coming up is to ensure that she's well fed and I back her to ensure that she sleeps before that meeting. But at times it will not work. At times it will not work. But most time it works for me. As a mother, there are so many things you can't avoid. But when you started working with a client, even when your baby is crying, they will even tell you to carry the baby, attend to her. I've attended meeting breastfeeding my baby. So it depends on the client that you have. Some clients they understand. There was a time my daughter was sick, she was at the hospital. My client told me to stop coming to work, that I should attend to her, that whenever she's fine, I should come back to work. Human, so that's just it. So any other question, guys? So thank you so much. I'll see you some other time. I love you. Bye bye.